Good morning, good morning, and welcome to the early bird. And here we're looking at. We'll start off with the European markets, and this is the DAX, and it's a daily chart. And you can see that from this strong move down through here, this is definitely a third wave coming down. So this would be in terms of down for one, back for two, down for three, back for four, and down for five. So this would be the whole third wave down through here. So this would be the fourth wave here, and this would be the top here. So it's down for one, back for two, and all the way down for three here, and the sort of fourth wave starting here. And this is pretty much, if we look at the FTSE as well, it's in the same sort of boat as well. This is the 1 hour chart, and it's working across the 5,000 here. But this particular pattern here that we're looking at is a wave 4 here. It could certainly be complete here in terms of an A and a B and a C. Correct pattern for wave 4, but wave 4s are normally quite complicated. So we may be seeing some sort of triangle pattern, as you can see here, panning out. But at the same time, it can still be wave 4 complete here, down for one, back for two here, and down for one here, and back for two here, and then peeling off down through here. But it's going to have difficulty at the 5,000 there. The psychological number is going to be sort of pulling it there. It is in group 1 here, so Group 1 is 100, 200 and 300, or simply 1, 2 and 3. This is a minor group. If support was found on top of 5,300 here, then we'd be considering trading long at that point there. But while it's trapped in Group 1, we'll be considering it moving to the downside here. And just to have a look in the bigger picture once again, this is the Dow Jones World Stock Market here. And as you can see, it's very much the same as the DAX as well in terms of down for one and back for two here, and moving down at the moment through here. So this situation here is the same for the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 and so forth as well. We're considering this a fourth wave correction here, and once complete, we'll be seeing it move to the downside through here. So on the world stock market, the Fed speech, who are not bringing in the QE3, have seen a bit of an uptrend here, and we knew that as well because we were looking to go short, but we also had to accommodate the Bernanke's speech on the Friday from Jackson Hole. So looking at the Dow Jones, this is it here. It's the same sort of story here in a sense. So we're looking at this being the wave 4 here, nice strong wave 3 down, a wave 4 here, and then we're kind of considering the possibility, and it certainly looked like that and still looks like that in terms of the next 5 wave structure coming down through here like that. So that 1 would be there, that 2 would be there, so to speak, and we'll move from there. Now that appears to be the case, and we'll stay with that particular case there. But if this move up here that happened on Friday took the top out here, yeah, the high of that one there, the 11,406, I think it was. If that gets taken out, then we really need to consider this this wave 4 as a different type of pattern, and we would have to consider it as a wave 4 triangle. I'm just bringing that through that point there, and this one here coming through, yes, we could put it there, but I think that would get tested, so we need to find the right sort of angle there. The balance line in this would be from that point through there down to there somewhere. That would be the balance point of this correction there. So as I mentioned, the early bird, the 11,100 here would be, if the 11,100 became the resistance, then we would consider this moving down in this structure here. Otherwise, we'll be working into this triangle pattern here, and that would be a 5 wave structure. So it would be like an A and a B and a C and a D and an E, and then we would come down through that way here. Once we're down here, then we would consider going long at that stage down here, close to the 10,000, 10,100. We'll go long from there. If we had to go long, we made an error somewhere, then it would be at the medium level here, the medium level 11,500 there. While the market's under that, then we'll stay with this this wave 4 pattern here, either being completed from here or going out into a triangle pattern. But if this market moved clearly up through there and then came back and found solid support on the 11.5 and then moved off, well, then we would move with it at that point, because we'd have that, would have something to work with at that point. So, and that would be 4,300 for our local market as well. And trading above it is not enough. It needs to trade above it and then come back and retest it and really find that support on top of that level there. So yeah, and that'd be the same for our local markets as well, in terms of this same sort of pattern here. We've come higher through here, and the only reason I can see is pushing higher through here would be base metals, and we'll have a look at the copper market shortly when we have a look at the intraday stuff. Now, there's a couple of important points here with the trading levels here. The medium level is the 4,000 there. So, you know, normally when we're above a level, then we would be, you know, on the positive side of the market. We also need to bring in the minor levels here, and this is minor group 1 here, so that's 100, 200 and 300, and all these as a group, they're very important. Their job as a group is to hold the price to the closest largest number, and that's 4,000. If this market found support on top of 4,300 there, then we would consider going long at that point there, and would go long to the 4.5 there, where the supply level would be. In fact, would be looking at the 4. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I won't get too involved in that. But so support on the 4.3 here would help us to the long side. But while it's trapped in here, then we need to basically work this correction through here the best we can. And in the group 1 here, the 4.2 is the center in here. So we need to see this as support or resistance here. And we haven't really seen it really check in there as resistance or support. So when we do look at that in terms of, can I use this chart here? Yeah, this is fine. So looking at 4,200 in here, you can see that the price is just continually sort of, it found a bit of support there, but it never really found support on the subgroup 1 of 4,200 there to get to the upside. So then it's still been flickering across here. Yes, we thought that that we've got a top in place here, and we'll be moving down. The Fed speech and the Stevens RBA speech as well have sort of given this a bit of support here. It still hasn't really found the 4.2 as support or resistance, and the subgroup 1 is doing its job up here on the sub levels to hold it to the 4.2 here. So that's where we are at the moment. We're still working through all of this. I kind of expect this to drift down. The only reason this would sort of push up through here is the base metals, and the finance sector would be weighing heavy on the base metals there for our indices. So, but anyway, if you're trading this, you would want to, if you're trading the SPY, so to speak, you would want to have, just looking at that on a 4-minute chart here, you need to have that 4,230 there as support. It's not just enough to trade above it. It's the retest when it comes back is what you're looking for. It needs to, that's a retest there. So you see how it's come back to the 4.2 and then it moves off there. That's fine. But it hasn't gotten away from that point up there, and that's the point that you're looking at. You want the support sitting on that top of subgroup 1 there. If that's not going to be the case, then we'll see this fail from here, but US markets were up. This is already priced in here. So that's where that will sort of pan out from there. Now, I'll just go sort of, well, I just should have a look at the US indices here. So this is the 1 hour chart, and this is the 11.5 up through here. So until that becomes support, we'll stay with the wave 4 here. We just don't know if this is the A, the B and the C for wave 4 here, and that's done and dusted, and we got down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and we'll be coming down from that point there. So we don't know that, or we're going to be working into some sort of triangle pattern through here, or there is a flat pattern that could be through there as well. Yeah, so anyway, we'll be working with that. Now, working close in here, the 11,300 is important. The 11,300 is also a group 1 as well. So support or resistance on top of 11,300 would be significant. You also know that, we've talked about it before, is that the old high here, as it's normally called, I guess, is where the sellers will be sitting, the supply. So that's why they'll be hit there. So let's see if that supply can peg that market to the 11,300 area there. And same with the S&P 500 in its own little way as well. But this is the 61.8 retracement level here at 1172. This is 65.72 on the 80 here. It's all part of subgroup 2 here. And we'll be looking at that at holding the price to this area here and rolling to the downside from here. But the supply levels are still at 1,200, but obviously they've moved down slightly to the 1,180 there. So, yeah, look, any trading from here would have to see the 118 as support, and that's what you'd be looking for there. But sort of more importantly, on the driving side of the markets, I wanted to have a look at, if the markets were, now that speeches have been had by both money heads, the Feds and the RBA, that's all sort of done and dusted, and that's all priced in. We need to look at what will push the prices up after what's been said, and the base metals come into the picture there. And we've been talking about this for a little while now in different ways, but once the price came back up above 400 here, the medium level here, then we needed to work the structure to the upside. And this is the structure how I see it. And the structure would be, well, we've got this in brackets here, we've got this wave 1 to here, the ABC for the 2 here, and now we're looking for wave 3 up here in brackets, so wave 3 in brackets here, and then there would be a wave 4 in brackets and a wave 5 in brackets, and that should complete that. And this is on the hourly chart. So I do see a little bit more to unfold in here, and this could, I did say 7 days or this week on there, but it could even be longer than that, depending how long the wave 4 correction is. So what I'm saying is that there is positive stance coming in from the base metals here. However, to trade this on our local market, you would also need the indices from the US to be on the positive side, and they will be weighed down by the finance sector. So we do need to look to the finance sector on our local market and their closest largest numbers levels as support as well, to have that pushing to the upside there. But there won't be a great movement in the base metals here for the short term here, because we're at 400 here. This is 410 here, and 410 is the first minor level, then 420. So the price is, number 1 is the strongest number in the market, followed by 5. So this 410 here, we have to expect a correctional pattern across here for the next 2 sessions before we see any sort of further upside there. Sure, we'll see up to the subgroup 1 area here to the 30, but then coming back into that. So some type of correction across here would be the play here. But this is the really only positive sort of market I see to the upside. Sure, there is oil, and it's sitting on the 85 here. But this will just follow stock. So there's no sort of importance here at this stage. So the energy sector on our local market will just follow stock. So the gold market is pretty much doing what we kind of figured, and we were looking for this market to come down to around this area here, whatever. So we're just calling this as wave A here, and we're looking for wave B to pull back up to the 61.8%. So it will be up around this area here. But what we normally look to is the supply area. Supply just means volume. And this is the first, so 1830, which would be, 1800 here. Then you got subgroup 1, so 10, 20 and 30. So finding support on top of 30 would get you up to the midpoint here to the next level. Now, we know that at the 1830 there, we understand the levels and the psychology of the levels, and that's also tied in with the volume that we're seeing between the 30 and the 50 here. So we expect a top through here, but if you break this down, this is on the hourly, but if you break it down to 5 minutes, you'll be looking for 5 waves from this point up to this point here. This is the first level of supply here, the 50 is the second, and then you get into subgroup 2 here, which is the 65, 72 and the 80, and that's where it really gets thick up here. So 30 is strong, 50 is stronger, and then group 2 is stronger still. So the wave structure that you're seeing moving up here is quite strong and firm and so forth. That was part of the speech that the Feds did, no QE3 and so forth. But look, in the bigger picture, what we're looking at through here is we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 4 here, and then we'll see a push to the upside up to the 20,000, 2,000 up there. 20,000 would be nice if you're holding some. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a corrective pattern through here. And it may not come down to here, or it may even come further down here. We'll just have to see how it unfolds at the time. But we could say that it will just be a flat pattern. Depending how high this pushes up here. If it comes to the 61.8% mark, then we can expect it back down at the 1700 here. But we'll see how we go there. And there would be nice support at this point through here and through here and through here at this subgroup 2 level here at 1772. The US dollar here, the speech made by the Feds have rocked the boat somewhat, and I just think that we're still staying with the same wave count we've got, with the US dollar to the upside and the euro to the downside. We just need for the market to settle after Friday's speech. So let's just let this settle, and we'll pick up the line again. But we expect the US dollar to be back above the 74, as we would expect the euro to be back below the 114 here in due course. Now, this move that came up through here quite strongly is a positive move. This one here, it does appear to be in 5 waves. So based on this here, we can expect the 145 to be taken out. But let's just see how we go here. I would suggest that just allow the markets to open through the Asian session here and see if you've got 145 as support or resistance, and then work the market from that point there. But we are expecting the S&P 500 and the Dow to stay within its larger minor wave 4 and roll over to the downside. And of course, the euro will follow this, follow the S&P 500. And I'm also looking at the bonds market as well in terms of the 10-year bonds and the 20-year bonds. They'll be doing the opposite of what indices will be doing, and their wave count to the upside is quite clear. They're in the opposite count to the indices. The Australian dollar as well. We're back up at the 106 area here. I just think we should allow the markets to open on Monday and sort of settle in a little bit. I want to see if the 106 sort of holds up. So let's just allow that to unfold there. So look, in a bit of a nutshell, just sort of coming back on everything. Our local markets can be up, but they won't be up by that much because the SPY futures is still around the 4.2 mark there. When we look at the Shanghai markets as well, they're in the same sort of boat as the other markets here. So until we consider them in the same sort of pattern as everything else. So let's just see how the Dow Jones, here we go, just sort of going over this one more time here, just to get a bit of perspective, that's all, because we knew that we would get the bounce from the Fed speech. We just need to allow that speech to play out, and see how it works out. So in one sort of subtle sense, the 11,300 here as the minor level is something that you would be looking for as support here, because we know that the supply here, the sellers would be moving down from here. They're down to here now because of that bar there, and we'll see how the demand now deals with the supply levels at here and here. The volume that went up through here was diminishing as it was going up, so I don't think it's got a lot of pace in it, but we still need to allow it to unfold there and play out, because we've got these we've got these higher lows here, and we've got these lower highs coming into play there. And as I mentioned, the balance point through here is we could say 11,100 through here, but let's see how we play out with group 1 here, see if 11,300 becomes support. But in the bigger picture, the next degree higher, then we'd need to see 11.5 as support, strong support for any further upside. So we're not going to miss anything. The main point is not to lose anything in the meantime here. So let's just see how this pans out for strength or weakness at the 11.3 here, and we'll take it from there. Alrighty, good morning and good luck.